So this is me in high school. As you can probably tell, I didn't quite fit in. I had this bushy hair and a big mouth, and let's just say an eclectic fashion sense. I tried for years to be like everyone else, but my clothes were always different, my sarcastic sense of humor didn't quite land, and I was just a little, or a lot, too nerdy. So I just went with it. I kept the bushy hair. I wore purple Doc Martens to school every single day, sometimes with mismatched socks, and I was as smart-assed as ever. And honestly, high school was still a struggle for me, but I was feisty, and I was gutsy, and I didn't back down from the parts of myself that other people didn't understand or thought were weird. Flash forward to my MBA graduation. Roxanna with the purple Doc Martens, well, she's been left behind. This Roxanna is ready to conquer the world. And so that's what I did. I couldn't wait to take that leap forward and climb that corporate ladder. And so I started my career in marketing, and I worked for some amazing brands, like Kraft and General Mills and S.C. Johnson, and I loved it. Well, I thought I did. I loved the culture of teamwork and winning, and I loved working with really smart people every single day. That part was amazing. But there was this little thing nagging at me, that I just didn't quite fit in. I remember going to a company conference around that time, one of those ones with like the pumping motivational music and the flashing lights where everybody gets super excited to crush those targets. And part of me was really excited and wanted to crush those targets too. But part of me just felt like I just didn't care enough about this. I felt like a pair of purple docs in a sea of navy blue ones. At first, I thought passion was a problem. I was taking a walk with my husband around that time, and I told him, maybe I'm just not built to be passionate, which is ridiculous if you know me, because I can get passionate about anything. I can get passionate about the grilled cheese sandwich I had for lunch yesterday. I can start telling you about the calabrese bread and the gorgonzola cheese and the amazing tomato chutney, and you'll be like, Roxanna, stop, we're gonna leave this TED Talk to go get that grilled cheese sandwich. I can get passionate. And I was passionate about marketing, but I wasn't passionate about what I was doing with it. And then in 2011, this happened. My son Mika was born, and he was just a deal breaker for me. I knew I couldn't leave that face every day unless I was going to go do something that made a real difference in the world. So I could come back and tell him about all the amazing things his mama was doing and set an example. And so I started interviewing with charities. I thought maybe what I need to do is match up my mission and my values. And so I took a step back and I thought about what I wanted out of life. And I decided that the charity space was where I could link my mission and my purpose and my values together. And I thought, look, I can take my marketing experience and use it to help a charity get more donors. And so I started having coffees with some of my friends in those areas. And at first I was really excited about the potential I could have. But then I learned something that just stopped me in my tracks. And it was this: marketing was basically unknown in the charity world. Charities were so focused on delivering their mission that they just didn't have the time for marketing. It was something that was low on their priority list. They thought it was frivolous or out of sync with what they were doing. And that meant that me, with my expertise, I didn't have a place in that world either. And honestly, I was crushed. Here I was, I just found my purpose, and I was so excited to go forth with it, and it turned out that nobody wanted it. So at first I thought, maybe I'll go elsewhere. Here I am again, Roxanna with the purple Doc Martens. I'm just a square peg in a round hole. Maybe I just need to go look somewhere else. But then part of me said, just don't give up. I just had this fire in my belly, this feeling that this was the place for me and that this was the place for marketing. And then I thought, hold on a second. Maybe the way I define marketing is not the way charities define marketing. And maybe that's why they don't understand it and they don't see the power of it. Maybe marketing needs some marketing itself. See, I don't think of marketing as just selling things. I think of marketing as raising awareness and educating people and rallying them around a cause. So why don't we rebrand marketing to be exactly that, rallying people around a cause? Because that kind of marketing in the charity space, that's a game changer. That can take something with potential and make it exponentially bigger, like ripples in a pond. Eventually, I did find my place at Ronald McDonald House Charities, whose mission is all about keeping families together. And now with a family of my own, it was a mission that I could really understand and appreciate. And today, I do come home every day and tell my son, Mika, and now my daughter, Kieran, about the amazing work I get to do every single day. I lead a team of marketers and communicators, and together we've been able to increase our understanding of the work we do from 39% to 67% in a few short years. I'm really proud of the work we do together. But I'm also so grateful that I listened to that feeling in my gut, and that I listened to the fact that this was the place I belonged and that this was a place for marketing. It's not always easy. In fact, some things that we've done have worked really well, and some things have not worked well. But I know that I'm at the place that I need to be. The other thing I've learned, though, is why charities were so hesitant when I pitched marketing to them all those years ago. We in the charity world, we're charged with solving the biggest social issues of our time. For our families, for our community, for our society. Yet we're given the fewest resources to do so. No wonder charities are so narrowly focused on their mission. No wonder they're hesitant to take risks with the limited resources they have. But that is why I wholeheartedly believe in the power of marketing to ignite social missions. And today is my passionate plea to all charities to rally people around the cause, because we need it now more than ever. So you might be wondering, why do we need marketing now? I mean, charities have existed for years without it. Well, there's 3 reasons we need marketing now, and I call them more, mission, and message. More, because there's more charities now in Canada than ever before. For our parents, it was relatively simple in the charity world to support a cause. They had their 2 or 3 charities they supported. They wrote a check at the end of the year, and that's it. Their duty was done. But that's because in 1980, there were 42,000 charities. In 2018, there were 86,000 charities and growing. With double the amount of charities, how is one charity supposed to connect to donors and to stand out? That's why they need marketing. The second reason is mission. The missions of charities are much more complex than they used to be, and charities need to explain them to donors for them to support them. 40 years ago, the mission of a charity was pretty simple. Think about a food bank or a clothing drive. But now, charities have become part of the fabric of society. And as societal problems become more complex, so do charity missions. Take my charity, Ronald McDonald Houses. That's one of our families. Ronald McDonald Houses help families stay close to their sick child in hospital where they're being treated. See, 65% of Canadians live outside a city with a children's hospital. That means that if they get sick, 2 out of 3 Canadians have to travel for treatment. Imagine that your child was suddenly diagnosed with a serious illness and had to be airlifted to a hospital 4 hours away. You would drop everything to go and be with them. But now imagine that their treatment went on for weeks, months, even years. You'd be doing that traveling back and forth those 4 hours every day. Your spouse might be home with your other child, And you might have to quit your job or take a leave of absence, all the while racking up expenses like gas, hotel, and food. That kind of separation can be devastating on a family, physically, financially, emotionally. A Ronald McDonald House gives families a place to stay together that's close to the hospital for little to no cost. As a mother once told me, without Ronald McDonald House, we'd be broke, torn apart, and we wouldn't have a home to come back to. She said, the hearts of parents are stronger than they should have to be, and these walls help to strengthen them. It took me 60 seconds to explain that mission to you, but that's 60 seconds more than most charities have. They don't have the chance to connect with you about the complex work that they're doing, so you won't be able to support them. That's why we need marketing. The third reason is message. The way charities get their messages out is very different than it was. 40 years ago, it was relatively easy for a charity to reach their donors. They could canvass them on the streets, or they could put up posters on telephone poles, or they could send a letter out asking people to donate. But now with the internet, there's more ways than ever to reach people. But charities are actually connecting with less people. Only 15% of any email sent by a charity is opened. And only 4% of a charity's followers are reached with their Facebook posts. In this cluttered world, how is a charity supposed to connect with donors without marketing? So now you understand the reasons why charities need marketing. So why don't they invest in it? Well, the answer is simple. What's standing in their way is you, the donor. There's a secret taboo against charities using donor funds to communicate their message. Because donors have become focused on efficiency, how charities spend every dollar. The donor naturally think the more money that goes to the mission, the better. So if it's a charity that helps the homeless, the more money that goes to the homeless, the better, right? Well, there's a problem with this thinking. Let's say we have two charities, Charity A and Charity B. Both charities help the homeless, and both charities want to help even more people. Charity A decides to do a donor campaign, and they go the efficient route. They put a post on social media, which we already know not very many people see. They have their volunteers call their donors, and they send out an email. They raise $2,000, and of that, $1,800 goes to the mission. Charity B decides to go a different route. They work with a local marketing firm, and they use some of their donor funds to create a marketing campaign. They tell the stories of the people they helped, and they make it clear how your donation could help even more. They give the campaign a distinct look and feel. And they put it on social media too, but they put money behind their posts so more people see them. And they put ads on their local radio station. They raise $200,000. And $140,000 of this goes to the mission. The other $60,000 goes to re-engaging the donor so that they can go back to them again and again. As a donor, which charity would you rather support? We live in a time of uncertainty and social upheaval. Our societal issues are getting bigger and bigger, and charities are charged with helping to fix them. Why wouldn't we use every single tool in our toolbox to do so? Today, let's open up to possibilities. The possibility of charities using an unexpected tool to connect to the hearts and the minds of their donors, and the possibility of donors supporting charities who have the courage and vision to do just that. I'll share an example from Ronald McDonald Houses. Recently, we partnered with McDonald's and a community choir to bring our families together along with supporters to sing a song of thanks. It was an amazing moment. We gathered in this old creaky hall, and all our voices rose up in song. And then we took that video and we featured our families, and we put it on Facebook. It was seen by 3.8 million people. That's 3.8 million people who understand what we do and who will support us. That's the power of marketing. I'm so grateful to be doing the work I'm doing and learning every single day. And I am even more in wholehearted belief that marketing is the way forward, that rallying people around a cause can help ignite a social cause and build a stronger Canada. So here I am now. I still have the bushy hair. I still have the eclectic fashion sense, and clearly, I still have the big mouth. I've learned to embrace Roxanna with those purple Doc Martens because I've learned to listen to that voice. That piece that doesn't belong, that puzzle piece that other people don't understand, that's the way that I'm going to change people's thinking. And that's how I'm going to spread value for myself and for the world. Thank you.